Hey, when I first powered on the Samsung 65-inch Q7F, it was one of those moments where everything I'd watched before suddenly looked smaller, not in size, just in clarity and presence. Before you go any deeper, take a quick second to check the current price and stock, because 65-inch QLED Smart TVs with this level of AI, color, and motion performance don't stick at good value for long. This one's for you, the person who's sat through bright rooms and washed out colors, who's noticed motion blur in sports or games, or who's cranked the volume because dialogue felt distant. I was exactly there too, settling for screens that were fine enough, convincing myself the picture looked good, even when it didn't really shine. Then one day I swapped to something that actually felt alive, and I realized I'd spent too long settling. Once I switched to the Samsung TV, everything carried more depth, more presence, more intent. The QLED panel doesn't just color your screen, it fills it with rich hues and contrast that feel faithful, not exaggerated. Quantum HDR doesn't just brighten highlights, it reveals detail you never noticed before. And motion stays smooth whether you're watching fast sports, night action sequences, or competitive gaming. It doesn't just look sharp, it feels connected to the moment. I've used this through movie nights where every scene suddenly had texture instead of flat brightness, through gaming sessions where every frame felt responsive and nestled right into the flow of play, and through everyday TV where smart features actually made navigation feel natural instead of clunky. The Q4 AI Gen1 processor doesn't just process images, it predicts and refines them in real time so content feels fluid and intentional. Object Tracking Sound Lite doesn't just output audio, it places it so voices feel anchored and effects feel layered. Performance here isn't just about specs you glance at once. It's what you feel when contrast actually sticks in a bright room. It's the moment when color stops looking washed out and starts looking rich. It's the calm confidence you get when motion stays smooth every time you sit down, not just in perfect conditions. And once you live with that level of presence daily, anything less starts to feel like you're watching through a pane instead of into the scene. While you're thinking about it, don't let price swings or stock quirks be the reason you miss out. TVs this size and this balance tend to get claimed quickly once people experience what they do on screen. If you're hesitating because your current TV just gets you by, here's what hits you after a few days with this: anything weaker starts to feel like you're watching the same content with half the detail, half the impact, and twice the compromise. You start noticing contrast you missed before, colors that finally feel real, motion that stays confident, and audio that stays anchored without fuss. Pictures that feel deep with rich contrast, color that stays true, not washed out, motion that stays fluid, and fast scenes, sound that feels anchored, not distant, smart features that actually feel intuitive, not as deep black as high-end old speakers are solid but pair well with soundbars. At some point you stop looping through specs because the choice you keep circling back to is the one that already felt right from the first look. Don't let this be the upgrade you push off and then look back on wishing you jumped on it sooner. Check the current price and make the move. This is the display that finally matches how seriously you take seeing and feeling every moment.